An ex-Macca's worker with 40 homes. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. Grab your stein of coffee because we have to have a look at, well, another article, this one from news.com.au about a Macca's worker, an ex-Macca's worker. So your first ever casual job or high school job is the one that's going to form your whole career, particularly when you build a property portfolio. So a former fast food worker, I mean, if I ever get 40 properties, will they say a former Woolies cashier when I did that 2 decades ago? Anyway, let's keep going. A former fast food worker has shared how he now owns 40 homes worth more than $20 million combined. Eddie Dillon, 30, recall how he and his mother used to survive off $250 a week from her pension money. Now he makes $350 a year in passive income through renting out his vast property portfolio. Mr. Dillon, is that it? Dillon, originally from Mount Druitt in Western Sydney, got a job on his 14th birthday at the local KFC, which paid just $6.80 an hour. A year later, he jumped ship to work at McDonald's for the rest of his high school life. By the time he finished up, he was making $12.90 per hour. Using the savings he'd accrued from these 2 minimum wage jobs, the then 18-year-old managed to scrape his way into the property market by purchasing a unit in the New South Wales Central Coast. Okay, so the bank of mum and dad helped here by providing the free rent when he was a kid living at home. So good on him. I mean, I don't want to disparage what he achieved. It's fantastic to see that he's built himself up. This is what you want to see. But it's just funny how, we see these articles so often. From there, he used a combination of his savings, a self-managed super fund, lender's mortgage insurance, and equity to leverage his way into getting more properties. I believe it's easy. The dad of one told news.com.au, it depends how bad you want it. Most people aren't willing to sacrifice for a year or two like I did. And, well, he's probably right there. He's probably right there. There are a lot of people that aren't willing to sacrifice certain things, and I mean sacrifice, to get ahead. So he described the housing commission he grew up in as very rough, recalling instances where vandals set the home opposite him on fire and with burglars breaking in at least 4 times. Luckily, we didn't have anything valuable anyway, he said with a laugh. All the pain we went through financially every day was a struggle. When I went to the shops, I couldn't afford anything. He added that he was tired of having the money problems and that over time I realized that people are better off financially one way or the other if they have property. While in high school, he started reading lots of property books and felt ready to take the plunge at 18 with a $20,000 deposit behind him. However, he was knocked back by 6 banks. Finally, he found a lender willing to give him a $140,000 loan. As a result, he was able to buy a 2-bedroom, $138,000 flat on the New South Wales Central Coast. It was positively geared, with a 7% rental return, allowing him to save up for his next investment. I mean, there you go. Good on him. He worked multiple jobs to get together enough cash for the next step on his property journey. There were times when I'd work sometimes 3 jobs at once, he recounted. I figured if I could save one of the wages, that would help. My mates would be drinking and partying, and I'd be behind the bar working. I was burning the candle at both ends. It was very tiring. He sold tools to tradesmen during the day and worked in a pub by night, and also worked in a paint shop. Overall, he reckons he earned $1,300 a week and saved $1,000. He was living in a share house with friends that cost him just $170 a week. He described it as, for lack of a better word, I lived in a shithole, so I could do the hard yards to put the money into property. It's like a Band-Aid going to the gym. No one wants to do it. But he's living proof it paid off. So he's since nabbed properties all over the country to diversify his portfolio in Adelaide, Brisbane, the Gold Coast, as well as Sydney and other parts of New South Wales. The real estate pro has doubled his portfolio since the coronavirus pandemic hit, going from 20 to 40 properties in his name, including buying 6 properties in just 5 months. He recently purchased his very own home to start his new family with, where he lives with his wife and his 1-year-old daughter. He scored a $1.3 million home in the Sydney suburb of Greenacre with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms and a double garage. Mr. Dillon also bought a property for his mother earlier this year because up until then she'd be living in the same housing commission complex. Getting his mother her own home was a big driving factor for me, he said. He no longer works casual hospitality jobs. Instead, after being asked by friends and family how to enter the housing market, he decided to open up his own property buyer's agency. So he credits Lender's Mortgage Insurance to much of his success, especially for his first 2 properties. LMI is required when your deposit is less than 20% of the value of a property. It's a one-off, non-refundable, non-transferable premium which aims to protect the lender from financial loss if the borrower can't afford to meet their home loan repayments. He only had to put forward a 5% deposit for his first few properties, allowing him to use the excess money for the next down payment. As a final word of advice, he said, take it one property at a time. Diversify your portfolio and only buy properties that are below market value and have a good rental yield. Unfortunately, most people get emotional about it, and they don't buy it based on numbers. He's written a book due out in January charting his property journey. Well, good on him, guys. Good on him. The fact that it's highlighted as an ex-Macca's worker, I mean, it's what you do to draw people's attention. At least it's not as bad as the 6-year-old getting into property. Let's have a bit of a talk about this one. What's interesting, though, is that these property people always focus purely on property to build their wealth. None of them are really investing in, well, they don't seem to mention at least, investing in other forms of income, in the stock market or in businesses, or when they develop a business, the business is on teaching people how to get into property. And, I mean, good luck, good work to him. He worked bloody hard, Eddie, did lots of jobs, did shit hours in shit jobs to get where he is. But our country, we're obsessed with property, guys. This is why everyone thinks it's the only way to get ahead. What do you reckon? Anyway, thanks for watching. I want you to check out this last video about iron ore rallying and iron ore companies going up. It's a little different to property. But as long as we're obsessed with property, that's where the political will is going to stay. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode of Heise Says. Bye for now.